Good afternoon. This is Nicole Drake from WMON News with a special news report. The search for Deborah Saxon continues. It's been 18 hours now since the police detective was abducted from a stakeout detail in Monticello Park. Since that time, every available law enforcement officer has been scouring the city as well as the outlying areas in hopes of locating their colleague. Recently, the focal point of the hunt has become the Midwood section of Graham County, where a station wagon believed to be the same one seen speeding from the scene of the kidnapping has been found, abandoned. As each hour passes and the search continues to prove fruitless, the atmosphere in the tactical command room at the Monticello Police Headquarters, the nerve center for the rescue operation, becomes more and more grim. Officials readily admit that they have very little in the way of encouraging clues.
I thought it was a deer herb, I swear I did.
She's not even dressed in hunting clothes. I wonder what she was doing out here.
Emily always said I shouldn't go out to hunt for poor defenseless little animals. If that girl lives, I swear I'll never fire that gun again.
Well, you're as bad a shot as ever, my friend. You didn't even hit this woman. And it looks like she's dead anyway.
Detective Deborah Saxon went to Monticello Park last night to serve as a decoy in an attempt to apprehend the man who has brutally assaulted 3 women in the park in the past week. Detective Calvin Stoner was assigned as her backup, but he was attacked and rendered unconscious by a blow to the head. By the time he was revived, Detective Saxon had vanished. At first, it was thought that she had become the 4th victim of the attacker. But that theory had to be discounted, for as Deborah Saxon waited at the east end of the park, a woman was assaulted near the fountain. Later, the woman identified a known offender, Philip Walston, who subsequently was arrested and confessed to the 3 previous assaults. The solution of those crimes makes Deborah Saxon's disappearance even more of a mystery. Who abducted Deborah Saxon and why are questions the police are working on very hard at this moment to answer. If anyone has any information regarding the present whereabouts of Detective Saxon, you are urged to call this emergency police number, 555-7146. All calls will be kept in the strictest confidence.
Hello?
Is this Benny Hayes?
Who wants to know?
It's Miss Corey.
Ah, Grandma. Hi. Hey, I told you. I'm not filling any prescriptions right now.
Benny, I want to know what you've done with Deborah.
Hey, the less you know, the better.
I gave you $1,000 to teach that little tramp a lesson. But from everything I've been hearing on the news, you've done a sight more than that.
Yeah, well, we both agreed that pesky little cop deserved one hell of a scare. You know, well, I'm just making sure you get your money's worth.
She wasn't to be harmed.
She wasn't. The dude I hired just dumped her in the woods, that's all. So what? Hey, look, she's gonna find her bearings and get back. Don't worry about it.
Look, she could freeze to death out there. I have no inclination of facing a murder charge.
Grandma, you worry too much.
Well, the police know that it wasn't that park maniac who kidnapped her.
So what? There's lots of crazies running around.
They found the car your friend used. What happens if they trace it back to him?
Grandma, you know, Phil's the kind of guy who likes to drive a different car every night, you know? So he borrows other people's. You get my drift?
Oh, well, so supposing he leaves his fingerprints on the steering wheel or something. Look, if they catch him, what guarantees do you have that he won't talk? You know that criminals sometimes are offered protection for testifying. If he implicated you might tell on me.
Hey, the grand I gave him was for a one-way ticket out of town. Phil's not even around.
I'm beginning to feel sorry I ever got involved in this.
You did get involved. Just as deep as me and my buddy, and don't you forget it. Besides, Debbie's little hike in the woods is gonna slow her motor down a little bit. I don't think she's gonna be so anxious to bug me when she gets back. Which means, Grandma, that I can deliver some more medicine to you. Huh?
You swear she's going to be all right?
Oh, she might have a little head cold or something. Hey, why don't you make her some chicken soup and stop bugging me?
Should any further developments take place prior to our regularly scheduled newscast, we'll interrupt our programming to keep you posted. For WMON News, I'm Nicole Drake.
What a horrible story.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Oh, I gave the stage manager a note telling him that you were waiting for your wife in here. Nicole should be finished in the studio in just a few minutes.
Thank you. Look, how have things been going with you, Margot? I know it's a difficult time for you.
I am surviving.
From what Nicole tells me, you practically made this office your second home.
I spend an hour or two behind that desk, maybe, but then when you own and operate a television station, there are never enough hours.
Oh, come on, the place ran very smoothly before you decided to live here.
Maybe, but you know that burying oneself in one's work is an age-old way to cure any personal problems. Besides, there's nothing for me at the apartment, and this occupies my time.
Well, you know, you're more than welcome to join Nicole and me for dinner any evening.
That's very nice of you, thank you.
You're good to get out, you know, it's good medicine.
I'm not really up to any social life just yet.
Why? Couldn't hurt to try.
You know, it didn't take Elliot very long to get back into the swing of things.
What do you mean?
My dear, didn't you read today's edition of the Monticello Star?
I don't buy that rag.
I have it somewhere. Oh, yeah, file 13, where else? According to their gossip columnist, it seems he's rapidly becoming one of Monticello's social elite. Oh, here we go.
Well, he always did like the good life, didn't he?
Oh, indeed, yes, and now he's found someone who can keep him in the style to which I allowed him to become accustomed. Feast your eyes on that. Doing the night spots with none other than Nola Madison. Don't they look cozy?
Well, I wouldn't make too much of this.
Darling, I know exactly what to make of it. Simple. He's found himself another Margot Huntington. Dear Elliot must have started working on Mrs. Madison the moment I introduced him at that party. You know, the one I threw when they began production on Mansion of the Damned.
Well, you know, they were co-stars in that picture. This could be nothing more than two friends just having dinner together.
Oh, come on, Miles. You're not that naive. You know, when the role of the devil came up, it was Nola who saw to it that he got the part.
Well, he must have passed an audition.
I'll say.
Well, I must say it's not very discreet for him to be openly romancing the producer's wife.
Oh, well, Elliot never had much use for the sanctity of marriage, I'm afraid. Besides, from what I understand, Mr. and Mrs. Madison are in the process of splitting up.
Is that true? I know she didn't go with him when Owen went out to California.
Yeah. And dear Elliot didn't waste any time moving in, did he? Oh, my goodness, look how they're staring at each other. They look like two teenagers on the brink of their first romance. Well, they're absolutely perfect for each other. I mean, Elliot's heart is shaped like a cash register, and she certainly has the cash.
You think that's all it is?
Of course. I mean, Nola has money. She's tons of money. Owen told me that. And probably Elliot feels that maybe she'll help him become a big movie star. It's right according to his pattern. Last time he was down and out, he parked himself on my doorstep. And now that I have thrown him out of the apartment, he simply took his act on the road. Yeah.
Oh, sorry to keep you waiting, Miles.
No problem, no problem.
This just came over the police wire. We don't know if it has anything to do with Deborah or not.
What is it?
Well, two hunters have found a woman, a young woman, in the woods, somewhere near the mid-woods section, only they haven't identified her. That report doesn't say whether she's alive or dead.
Well, if there wasn't any identification on her, what was her description? Oh, I see. Susan, thanks for calling me. I'll be at this number for a while yet, so if you hear anything further, would you let me know? Okay, talk to you later.
Sounds like you've been given some sketchy information.
Yeah, Susan's been on top of the story ever since it broke. So if the police have any more on it, they're certainly keeping a lid on.
Not very encouraging.
No. Apparently, at first, the hunters thought that they were responsible.
They mistook the woman for an animal, obviously.
Yes. Then when they found her, she was unconscious. An ambulance is being sent out there now, so I guess we won't have any more information until after she gets medical attention.
Well, I just hope it was, Deborah. And I hope she's all right.
Yeah, but the odds seem to be against that, don't they, Mike?
I thought you were the positive thinker around here.
I don't know, honey. It just seems so strange that a man would take her all the way out there and not try to hurt her some way.
I suppose we better be prepared for bad news.
Yeah. I think Deborah's had enough bad news in her life lately. I'm almost afraid to answer that.
Want me to?
No. Hello?
Mrs. Carr, how you doing?
Who is that?
It's Benny. You didn't forget about me.
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah. I told you I'd be in touch.
Listen, could I get back to you?
Look, I'm willing to cooperate, but it's got to be by my rules. I want to talk now.
All right, I'm listening.
Listen, I've been thinking about the risks I'm going to be taking by telling you about my life.
I told you I'll protect you. I won't use your name. I won't use the name of where you get your merchandise or where you do business.
You got all the bases covered. I like a lady with smarts.
Thank you.
Hey, listen, I think I'm going to be in a talkative mood tomorrow, so that's when we should get together.
All right.
Good. I'll get back to you with the where and when. And if we're going to have this little chat, you better pack something in your briefcase besides paper and pens and pads.
I thought we'd already agreed on that.
Yeah, $500.
It's been arranged.
Good. All right, unless I see cash, I don't talk. Nothing larger than a 20. And I'll get back to you, okay?
Anyone I know?
I think you know who that was.
Your connection, the pill pusher.
Mm-hmm. He's going to meet me, Mike. He's going to tell me his story.
I see. So you're making progress.
I certainly hope so.
You know, you could conduct this interview by telephone.
Mike, that wouldn't work. I mean, this is the kind of thing where we have to talk face to face. I mean, it's certainly in cases like this.
Case is the right word. You realize that you're walking a legal tightrope, Nancy. If he reveals crimes to you and you insist on protecting his rights.
But I have that right, Mike, under the First Amendment.
All right. I'm not going to argue legalities with you. All I'm really concerned about is your safety.
Like I told you, I've already met the man. He didn't seem very frightening. He wasn't crude. He wasn't vulgar.
I still think you should let the police know what you intend to do.
No, that would be in bad faith.
Bad faith, but good sense. That way, his immunity is protected, and so are you.
I can't take the chance.
No, I didn't think you would. I gather that money is changing hands.
Well, he considers himself a businessman, and I am paying him for his time. There's nothing unusual about that.
How much of an investment is the Monticello News making?
$500.
Cash?
Mm-hmm. He feels that that's the only sure way of getting payment.
Of course. And that way, there's never any record that the transaction took place.
No.
Nancy, you're making a big mistake by agreeing to all his demands, meeting him when he wants, where he wants, making the payment in cash.
Mike, he's the one taking the risks, and it is a seller's market.
But you're walking into this with absolutely no leverage on your side.
I want that story. I have to play by his rules.
These people have no rules. The way this thing is set up now, you could come out of this meeting with no story, no cash, and even worse.
Madison. Here's Mr. Dorn.
Ah, Nola.
Elliot, how good to see you.
Would you like me to bring in some hors d'oeuvres, ma'am?
Oh, no, thank you, Lillian. Mr. Dorn and I are going out to dinner shortly.
Well, if you change your mind, just call me.
Would you care for a drink?
Ah, whatever you're having.
2 mineral waters on the rocks coming up.
You look great tonight, Nola.
Oh, thank you, Elliot. I really had to rush a bit to get ready. I became so engrossed in the special reports on the news. I almost lost track of the time.
Anything I should know about?
Oh, well, haven't you heard what happened to Deborah Saxon?
Oh, yes. It seems she's been kidnapped, and the police suspects foul play. It's very unfortunate.
The child must be going through a terrible ordeal.
Yeah, if she's still alive.
Of course she is. She has to be.
Oh, you seem genuinely concerned.
Well, Deborah and I do know one another. I wonder if her plight has made the news on the West Coast. Owen would be heartsick if he knew.
Oh, that's right. You became friends when she helped to protect Paige, right?
Owen became a good deal friendlier with Miss Saxon than I, if you know what I mean.
Oh?
Didn't you know? I thought it was obvious that Owen had a crush on that girl. He certainly was wearing his heart on his sleeve.
And his feelings were reciprocated?
Deborah seems quite taken with Owen.
You know, Nola, you never told me about your feelings towards Owen.
It's a very good question.
I would have to assume that Mr. Madison's extracurricular activities had something to do with the problems in your household?
Well, I found it difficult to give Owen my blessing to take on a mistress.
But you know, Nola, sometimes these flings are just temporary.
Even if Owen tires of his cute little red head, yeah, there'll be others.
He's a fool to stray from a woman like you.
Well, I may no longer have my beauty, but I have my pride.
To my mind, Nola, you have both.
Well, I simply will have to accept the fact that I've lost him.
You're that sure that it's all over between you?
Oh, there's no doubt any longer. You know, I've begun to realize that it isn't losing Owen that bothers me as much as the fear of loneliness I'll have to experience without him. I don't have anyone else, you know.
If you had someone, would that help?
It would help a great deal.
But then your adjustment will not be so difficult. You have me.
Oh, dear Elliot, you have become a friend.
I was hoping I could become more than a friend, Nola. Don't you see that I've fallen in love with you?
I can't change your mind about dealing with this man, can I?
No, I'm afraid not.
Well, at least I hope that you're meeting this guy in a restaurant or some other public place. That would give you some degree of security.
Mike, I told you, I'm in no position to dictate terms.
You won't accept the fact that you're dealing with a totally ruthless individual.
Darling, I honestly don't think I'm in any danger.
You are much too trusting.
Hey, I've met the man. He isn't at all what you might expect.
Nancy, he's still a pill pusher.
Oh, sweetheart. The last thing in the world I want to do is worry you, please. I'll be all right.
Just remember, you're much more important to me than any story.
I'll get that. Hello. Yes, Susan. Ah. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Word about that woman?
Yeah. It was Deborah.
Miles, what would be a person's chances of surviving a night in the woods in weather like this?
Well, it really depends. If they were in reasonably good health, they'd be suffering from a case of exposure, not much else.
Deborah hasn't been in reasonably good health.
Yes, I know.
Miles? Colas just came over the wire.
Have they identified her?
It was Deborah.
Is she all right?
She's alive. They've taken her to Monticello General for treatment.
Treatment for what?
I don't know. It doesn't say anything about her condition.
Well, look, we are going to have to put off our shopping plans
It's
tonight.
okay. I've got to get on the air with this.
All right, Deborah is still my patient now. I guess if anybody needs me, I'll be at the hospital.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Max.
Seems as though a harmony is hard to find, always on our mind, and frustrated days pass without sight, the edge of night, half dark, half light, as we watch our hearts trying to hold the tenderness that we once had, halfway glad and halfway sad.
Well, there's one thing about working in a hospital over the holidays. At least you're guaranteed a white Christmas.
Excuse us. Could you tell us what room Deborah Saxon's in?
Why didn't you ask at the reception desk, Blue Eyes?
Because I'm asking you, Brown Eyes.
Are you two guys cops?
Yeah, that's right, and we're looking for another one.
I don't remember any cops being admitted.
Oh, they're easy to tell. They're the ones that are always pinching you.
Let me give you a hint. We're looking for a woman detective, and I'm not talking about Nancy Drew.
Oh, you mean Deborah Saxon. She's right in there.
Oh, some girl detectives have all the luck.
Oh,
hey, John.
Steve, Calvin.
How's Deborah doing?
Well, she's been through quite an ordeal. I guess you know that.
Well, is she going to be okay?
I think I have an early Christmas present for you, Steve. No, there weren't any injuries of any consequence, just a few small bruises and contusions, nothing more than that.
Hey, look what he did to your wrists.
No, I did that to myself trying to get out of those ropes.
The main medical concern was exposure and fatigue, but we're going to be able to handle that fine with plenty of rest, good nutrition.
Yes, sir.
Sounds like you were real lucky, Red.
Yeah, I am lucky. I'm lucky to have friends like you.
And she's lucky to be as tough as she is, too. She went through a really rough time, and in some ways she's in better shape now than when I last examined her.
Well, you know, I think because I was sick, probably saved my life.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's just because of what happened when he took me out into the woods. You know, well, we drove out there and he stopped the car and he started to drag me out.
Wait, what did happen? We know he left you off in the woods, and then he drove off.
I started to argue with him. You remember that course that they gave all the women at the academy about sex offenders? That it's possible to argue your way out of a situation?
Don't do this. Don't touch me. You're gonna be sorry.
Why, because you're a cop? Honey, that makes it double the pleasure.
Calvin wasn't the only cop there, you know. There were 6 or 7 other detectives in that park staked out waiting for you.
For me? What for?
They're after you, man. For assaulting those other women. They know all about you. They're following you right now.
You got it all wrong, Red. There's only one woman I care about, and I care about you a lot.
Don't, please, don't. I'm sick. I'm infectious.
You what?
Look at me. Real good. Do I really look that good to you?
You do look kind of washed out, but you
Feel
gotta pump
me.
you right. What?
Feel my forehead. Come on, feel it.
I don't know. What do I know about that?
It's a fever, man. It's a fever. You better know about it. Or you won't have long for this world.
You do look kind of sick. What's the matter with you?
They don't know. But it's deadly. Look at me. Look at my eyes. Can't you tell?
Yeah, well, they do look kind of bloodshot, all right.
They wanted to put me in a hospital. In the isolation ward. Where all the doctors and nurses have to wear masks. They wouldn't even touch me without gloves. Feel me. See?
Well, if you're so sick, what were you doing out there?
I couldn't give in to it. But I feel like I'm getting worse. I feel like I'm gonna die if I don't get to a hospital soon, please. Please. Well, if I do die, at least I'll take you with me.
You ain't taking me nowhere.
No, don't. No, stop it, please. Please, I'm sick. Don't you understand?
Shut up.
Help! Help!
You can stay here on your own, baby. And rot.
Anyway, that's why I was glad that I was sick, you know. I knew I wasn't infectious, but he didn't.
Infectious or not, you are sick, and I want to make sure that you get the best of care. By the way, do you know how you were found?
I heard something about 2 hunters.
Yeah, did you know that one of those guys actually took a shot at you?
What?
Yeah, well, I give him a lot of credit for admitting it, actually. He probably thought you were a red-headed moose or something.
Thank God he was a lousy marksman.
What about the guy that assaulted me? You caught him?
No, we haven't. But thanks to you, we have a very good description. Every cop in the force is on the lookout for him.
We did find his car, though, and guess where? Right outside the roadside diner where Steve and I stopped for breakfast.
I heard the car was stolen.
Yes, it was, which isn't going to help us find the guy. Think we should tell her?
Oh, you mean about the arrest? Why not?
What arrest?
Well, it was sort of ironic that the guy who assaulted you had nothing to do with the attacks on the 3 women in Monticello Park.
What?
Right, the guy we were looking for attacked another woman that same night, only this time she got away and was able to pick him out of a mug book, so he was picked up and confessed to the whole thing.
Well, nobody said that there's only one crazy in Monticello, right?
That's for sure.
That's strange, isn't it? Boy, that's really strange. You know, there were some times when I felt that that guy knew exactly who I was.
Well, look, fellas, I hate to put a wet blanket over this happy reunion, but I think my patient should get some sleep.
All right, we are kind of late.
Welcome back, Ben.
Thank you. See you later.
Yeah. Bye.
Good night.
Miles, let me ask you something. How much longer am I going to have to be here?
Oh, I'd say a couple of days, barring any complications. You'll be home in time for Christmas.
You know, I just feel so awful. I don't have anything to wear. I wish I had a nightgown or I have a toothbrush.
Listen, I tell you what, why don't I stop by your apartment on my way home tonight? I can pick up your stuff, bring it in at the crack of dawn. I got to be at the hospital anyway.
Oh, I couldn't ask you to do that.
Why not? Why not? Besides, a pretty nightgown would be good medicine for you. I prescribe it.
Here's a copy of the transcript, Lug.
Oh, thanks, Chief.
It's funny how some of these lunatics just can't wait to tell you everything.
You know, don't laugh at me on this, but I sometimes think that people like this commit these crimes in the first place to have the pleasure or release or whatever it is of confessing.
Yeah, well, I'll leave that to the psychiatrist. I'm just glad we got this guy under lock and key where he can't hurt any more women.
One more to go, right? The guy that kidnapped Deborah.
You put this guy on ice, prosecutor. I'll take care of my job.
How's she doing? Is she injured?
No, she wasn't. Not physically.
But she is in bad shape, right?
Well, she's in the hospital for rest and observation. I don't know any more than that.
Well, don't you think you ought to find out some more? After all, she's one of your officers. See you later. Oh, sorry, almost forgot the main reason I came here in the first place. Mind if I ask you a personal question?
He's got a real short answer.
You busy on Christmas? You have any plans?
No.
Well, that was a short answer, wasn't it? Look, there is a party, Christmas Day, that you may come to if you're in the mood.
Your place?
No, a friend of mine, Draper and April Scott's. Don't worry, it's not a second-hand invitation. Draper asked me to talk to you about it. He's an attorney, and we're all in the law biz together.
I think I'll just hang around my apartment, you know, look at all my presents.
You're expecting many?
Only if there really is a Santa Claus.
Why don't you loosen up and come to the party, huh? They're nice people. They got a lot of wonderful friends. You'll meet some good folks. Geraldine Saxon's going to be there. Mike and Nancy Carr.
Look, I really appreciate it, Logan.
The Kavanaughs, Miles and Nicole. You already know them, right?
Yeah.
So you won't feel like a stranger, will you? I mean, Miles is April's brother. Come on, what do you say?
Well, all right. All right. Logan, I'm just not very good at parties.
No.
But I suppose Christmas Day is not the day to spend all by yourself.
No.
Excuse me.
What is it, Jimmy?
Package just arrived for you, Chief.
There is a Santa Claus after all. Hey, aren't you going to put it under your tree?
I don't have a tree.
Well, it looks like you do now.
No, it's a plant. It's an ivy plant. And I don't have to read this card to know who sent it.
Why not? Oh, of course, Ivy. It's your wife's name, right?
My ex-wife, please. I wouldn't be surprised if this was poison ivy.
You said she was coming to Monticello. Does this mean she's here?
No, not yet. She's been delayed for some reason or other. Won't be here till after New Year's. I wouldn't care if she didn't come till 1985.
Well, I guess there's no question then of your being free on Christmas Day.
There's no question about it in the first place. Jane, come in, please. I had no intention of spending any part of my holiday with Ivy, and the same thing goes for this Ivy.
Yes, sir.
Get rid of this damn thing, will you?
Doggone. Hey, honey, they all work. They're all lit up.
Well, here's just about all that. Here, I got you some more. What are you doing?
The lights on the tree.
You don't put them on like that, and you're not supposed to put them on lit.
Why not?
Well, because I like to see it all light up at once. It's more exciting that way, okay? Goes around the tree this way.
Whatever you say. You know, you certainly have a lot of rules about Christmas.
Mm-hmm. That's because I happen to like Christmas traditional.
Oh. Well, here's one tradition that I really love.
Come here. Oh, do you know that this is going to be the happiest Christmas we have ever had?
Yeah. And you know, this is really our first Christmas together, even though we've been married, what, a couple of years now.
Yeah, well, can't exactly forget how we spent last Christmas. Well, don't worry about that. We are never going to spend another Christmas apart, or a New Year's, or Washington's birthday.
Oh, don't forget Lincoln's birthday?
His neither. Or the 4th of July, or the 5th of August, or the 12th.
Well, wait. What happened the 5th of August?
I don't know. We're just not going to be separated. Never.
Oh, that's right. It's the two of us, you and me against the whole world.
No, there's 3 of us.
All right. I forgot little what's her name?
What is her name?
I don't know. I thought you would have found out in the dream.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've just about completely forgotten about that dream.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry. It's my fault for mentioning that silly dream. Look, if you have a baby boy, we'll know the whole thing was nonsense.
Draper, I already know that it's nonsense. I mean, there's nothing about that dream that makes sense to me. A train whistle out of nowhere, a mysterious man in my hospital room bearing gifts.
Speaking about gifts, I hope you don't mind that I didn't buy you many this year.
You didn't?
Mm-mm.
Of course I don't mind. I mean, I know that
We've had a lot of expenses this year, not to mention a $12,000 check to Margot.
I'm just glad you understand.
Of course I understand. What I don't understand is why you walked in with 10 rolls of wrapping paper last night.
I just like wrapping paper, you know. It's very cheerful.
Oh. What were you doing the past 2 nights in your study with all that wrapping paper?
I was writing a brief.
On your wrapping paper?
Yeah. You know, that study is not going to be mine much longer once little Nameless gets here.
Now, that's another thing we have to talk about. I'm sorry, but we cannot go on calling him or her Little Nameless forever. I mean, that's something we have to make a decision about.
What's wrong with that? I mean, I sort of like that. Nameless Scott. I'm serious. Look, relax. We've got 4 months. Plenty of time to name the baby.
We may not have that much time, Draper. You know, it might happen a lot sooner. These things do happen. And besides, I refuse to have my baby brought into my room and not be able to call her by name.
Hey, I've got it. Why don't you finish having the dream, and then we'll know what we're supposed to call it.
Draper, why do you have to keep bringing up that dream?
Honey, I'm sorry. It's just a bad joke. Look, why don't you get the door and let me finish tying up this whole tree. What's wrong?
Who are you? What do you want?
Delivery man. Christmas gift, I guess. Would you mind signing right here?
Honey, what is it? What's wrong? Let me sign it.
Okay. Thank you. Have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's just that I saw him, and it just reminded me a lot of...
I know. It's my fault for mentioning that crazy dream.
Draper, this box is very similar to the one that I got in the dream.
Yeah. But, honey, a box that size could contain any number of things. Who sent it?
There's no card. It must be in the box.
Well, look, if it bothers you that much, honey, why don't you just open it now?
Can't. See, this says do not open until Christmas.
Well, I'm going to open it.
No, you can't do that. That's not right.
Why not?
Because it's just not
It's
right.
not traditional.
Draper, this it's going under the tree, and on Christmas morning, when we wake up and open up all the other presents, we'll open that one too. I'll tell you though, that box just better not have any silver bracelets in it.
What are you doing? You're not supposed to be here. Chief Mallory's gonna kill you.
Oh, I can't tear myself away from you.
Oh, he's gonna rip your badge up with his bare hands,
Well,
you know.
it'll be worth every bit of it. Do you have any idea what you put me through the last 24 hours? I mean, I had no idea if I'd ever see you again.
I know. Same thought occurred to me.
When Chief Mallory told me that you were out in the park with Calvin as a decoy, I went right off my head. I disobeyed a direct order.
You did? What?
Oh, he wanted to talk about some case or something. And here I knew you were sick, waiting for some maniac to molest you.
Look, I just thought everything was gonna be all right. You know, I've been thinking, Steve, this guy was very clever. I mean, both Calvin and I thought he was just an innocent passerby.
Yeah. And now we know he's not the same guy who assaulted the 3 women in Monticello Park.
Yeah. He was organized, much more organized than most of them, right?
Hey, well, maybe it's a good thing the guy had some sense, you know? I mean, if he was a complete maniac, you might not have been able to talk your way out of it.
Yeah. Steve, you have to go. You better go. You're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be late. You know, I didn't know how much I loved you until I thought that you were. I gotta go.
Steve?
Yeah.
Did you kiss me goodnight?
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't. That was hello.
Oh. Well, hello.
Hey, you. What are you doing?
Pretty obvious what I'm doing. I'm opening Miss Saxon's door.
Who are you, another cop?
Oh, I'm a doctor. Who are you?
I'm the super of this building, that's who. How do I know you're a doctor? You got no right to go in there if you are one anyway.
Here's my identification. I have a private practice, but I also work for the police forensic department.
The what?
Listen, I am Miss Saxon's doctor, all right? She's at Monticello General, and she asked me to pick up some things for her. Listen, I'm not breaking down the door, right? This is her set of keys.
Look, that door was knocked down once, Doc. You can't blame me for being suspicious.
I don't blame you at all. Don't blame me at all. Excuse me?
Everybody wants to go in that apartment. Boyfriend's a cop. Goofy old lady next door.
All right. Let's see. Bedroom closet, blue robe on hanger, slippers beneath the bed.
Deborah? Is that you? Deborah? Oh!
Who are you?
Oh, well, I'm Mrs. Corey. I live next door.
Oh, that's right. Deborah told me about you. Look, don't be alarmed. I'm her doctor. I'm Dr. Kavanaugh. I just came from her hospital room.
Oh, well, is she really all right? I've been so terribly worried about her.
She's all right. She's fine. She's just suffering from exhaustion, exposure after experience. We're just going to keep her in the hospital for a couple of days, make sure she's all right.
Oh, well, yes, of course.
I'm just here to pick up a few things for her.
Oh, well, if there's anything I can do to help.
No, not at the moment, although when she comes home, it'd be nice if you could look in on her from time to time.
Oh, you needn't worry. I intend to do all I can for that poor girl when she gets home.
Yeah, well, I'm sure she'll appreciate that. I guess I better, finish what I started here.
Oh, well, yes. Well, please give her my very best when you see her.
Mrs. Corey,
Yes.
haven't we met somewhere before?
Oh, no, I don't think so. You'll excuse me?
I know that woman. But from where?
One more time. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle bells. Can you help me with this?
fair peeking.
Oh, we're not peeking. We're just fixing the bow.
Y'all excited about Christmas, Tiger?
Huh? Are you? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, if it's anything like last year, he's going to be much more interested in the packages. First thing he did was open his presents. He played with his toys for half an hour. And then he was totally absorbed in the boxes for the rest of the afternoon.
When he was a kid, after all. Mrs. Goodman not here yet, I assume?
No, she's not. Just relax. Here, have some coffee.
Well, I gotta get to the hospital.
Well, so do I. Told Deborah I'd be over there first thing this morning.
Oh, really? Terrific. You can do me a big favor and take this to her. I promised to bring it to her first thing.
Sure. It's a suitcase with all the stuff you got at her apartment last night.
And if you take it to her, I'll be able to see some of my other patients first, and they're a lot more critical.
And she's gonna be all right? You're not concerned about her?
Well, I'm concerned. But at the moment, there doesn't seem to be any major medical problem. I met somebody when I went to her place last night, her next-door neighbor.
Oh?
Sure. Yeah, it's an old woman named Mrs. Corey.
Well, I know her. I mean, she's talked about her.
Well, there's something funny about her.
Yeah?
Maybe funny isn't the right word. Maybe what I mean is there was something familiar about her. I could swear I'd seen the old woman before.
Know what I've been thinking? I would like to bring Deborah a Christmas gift.
It's a little late to do any shopping, don't you think?
Well, yeah, but, well, there's always the hospital gift store. I have a better idea. You know, this is that gorgeous scarf I got from Mrs. Goodman's niece. I can pick up another one this afternoon.
Well, that's smart thinking.
Yeah. I really think that Deborah should have some sort of Christmas. This is a terrible time of year to spend in the hospital.
Well, it's possible she may get released tomorrow.
Yeah, but, you know, she's not going to be strong enough to go to April and Draper's party, is she?
No, no way. What Deborah needs most now is plenty of doing nothing.
Can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to this party. And I'm sure that April and Draper are really excited about it, too. I mean, this is their first party in their new house.
And they've got a lot to celebrate this Christmas.
Yeah. Well, you know, so do I. We are such lucky people, you know that? I have everything I could possibly want, and it's in this room.
Well, there was something you said that you wanted not too long ago, something else.
Well, maybe it's going to be under the tree.
No. What I'm thinking about doesn't come in a gift box. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even get wrapped till after it arrives.
You're talking about that baby talk we had.
You haven't forgotten about it, have you?
No, I haven't forgotten about it. I just put it on the shelf. It wasn't urgent. It was just something to think about for the future.
Well, we'll just wait for the future to get here, then.
If it's anything like the present, I am going to be very happy.
Come on, Tiger. Let's take one more look at the tree before I leave, okay? There we go. Oh.
What was that?
I'm afraid it's the angel that was on top of the tree. Must have fallen down.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
It's not you, Tiger. It was me.
Boy, with all these flowers, you could start a flower store.
Yeah. Maybe if Chief Mallory suspends me again, I might do that.
Is it okay to come in?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Valerie.
Bye.
Well, Chief, how are you?
How am I? Oh, last week I had a cold and a sore throat. I still got part of the sore throat, but the real problem is this pain that goes up.
All right, I get it. You're supposed to be asking me the questions since I'm the patient.
You got the idea.
Well, I'm feeling, I think, a lot better than you are. I mean, I spent a nice night in bed, and I've been having all kinds of vitamin shots to pep me up. Don't be surprised if I'm back at work in a couple of days.
Hey, now, don't rush. I think the department can struggle along without you until you're completely better.
Yeah, I guess they did that, didn't they? They got along with me for almost 2 weeks.
Where'd you get that idea? The truth of the matter is the whole damn structure fell apart. That's why I lifted your suspension.
Really?
Absolutely. When the underworld heard that you were out of commission, they unleashed their biggest crime wave.
The only trouble is, you let me come back to work when I wasn't fit to do it.
You should have been straight with me, Detective. You should have told me that you were feeling sick and that you weren't ready to return, because I'd have never let you take that decoy assignment.
Does that mean that you've come here to suspend me again?
Well, looks like you've suspended yourself.
You know, I wouldn't blame you if you did. I know I made a mistake. I wasn't able to handle that guy any more than I was able to handle that guy Stokes.
Well, you let him get away, that's for sure. But as it turns out, that wasn't the guy we were looking for that night. I'm sure you've heard that we have that man in custody, though.
Yeah. Strange, isn't it? I mean, Steve told me all about it, that I should be abducted by a different whatever.
It's peculiar, all right. But I suppose we won't know the whole story until we have that man in our hands, and so forth. That just doesn't seem likely. But tell me something, is it true? This guy called you by your first name?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he might have gotten my name off of my ID. I don't know. I was just too afraid to.
No. All right, well, you're okay now.
You know something? I was afraid of something else.
What?
Of this visit. I was afraid of what you were going to say to me.
Don't be. Oh, you don't have to worry about being suspended again. But I think even you'll agree that you have earned some sick leave.
Yeah, I can't argue with that one.
Well, there's no disgrace in it, you know. You simply recuperating after injury sustained in the performance of your duties. Just don't waltz back into the department before you're ready, before you're fully recovered.
No, I don't think I will. I think I learned my lesson.
All right. Glad to hear that. I've got to tell you, I think I learned a lesson myself.
You? Really?
Well, I'm sure you know that I was not pleased with something I found at the department when I arrived. I guess you might call it a friendship syndrome.
Oh, yes, yes. I know exactly how you felt about that.
Well, maybe I was wrong. Well, not wrong, but maybe there is something to it. I never saw so many worried cops in my life as I did when you suddenly disappeared.
The halls with boughs of holly. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had anybody in here.
That's okay. I can have more than one.
Yeah, but if you're talking about business, maybe
Oh, no, it's
I
not
should
business.
just
It's purely social. Please, come on in.
Deborah. How are you?
I'm fine.
Listen, I brought the suitcase. Miles picked up the stuff at your apartment last
Good.
night.
I can't wait to change.
Oh, well, listen, maybe that's cue for me to go.
Well, no, you don't have to.
Derek, I feel terrible about driving you out of here.
No, really, I've got plenty of work to keep me busy at the office.
Well, hey, I hope you're not planning to work straight through the holidays.
Well, unfortunately, the crooks and the crazies and the other troublemakers in this town just don't declare a holiday for Christmas.
Well, I hope that you are going to remember the people who are celebrating the holiday, mainly Draper and April's party.
Oh,
Are you coming, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll come.
Good.
Take care of yourself, and Merry Christmas.
Same to you. You know something? I don't think that guy is Chief Scrooge after all.
Well, I didn't say humbug once.
Not at all. Maybe it'll last, who knows. Well, let's get down to business. I want to change my clothes.
Oh, I almost forgot. This is for under your tree.
I'm not, you don't have to do this. I don't even have a tree.
Oh, well, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does, Nicole. It does to me.
Deborah Saxon, Monticello's only woman police detective, is recuperating in Monticello General Hospital from the effects of an ordeal that lasted... Well, at least she was found alive. It would have been horrible. I wonder if he knows. Hello. Would you please connect me with Mr. Owen Madison? No, I don't know the room number. Thank you.
Hello?
Owen, darling, hello. It's Nola.
God's sake, Nola. Do you realize what time it is?
Oh, dear, how silly of me to forget. You're 2 hours earlier there, aren't you? Well, maybe it's just as well, darling, because I know you like to get an early morning start, and I don't think you'd want to miss this call.
Nola, just what is this call all about, huh?
It's not about me. You'll be glad to hear that.
Where are you anyway? I thought you were in some island in the Caribbean. Is that where you're calling from?
No. I'm sitting right here in our living room. Or what used to be our living room. I got bored with all that gorgeous sunshine and scenery. I came back a week or so ago, but just in time for what happened.
Nola, will you just get to the point? Look, I've had about 4 hours sleep, all right?
Darling, it's Deborah. I suppose you haven't heard.
Heard what?
Well, the dreadful thing that happened to the poor girl. Well, of course, I suppose this sort of thing is inevitable, considering her career.
What happened? Is Deborah hurt?
I'm afraid so, Owen. Wasn't there anything about it out there? No, I guess there wouldn't be. The press is so parochial, isn't it?
Nola!
She was kidnapped, darling. And no, I guess the word is abducted. Because the man wasn't after any ransom. He just wanted to... Well, he was some sort of sex maniac.
Oh, my God.
She's all right, though. They finally found her out in the woods someplace. They said she was lucky to be alive.
Was she hurt?
Well, of course she was violated, Owen. I know this is a terrible way to start your day, Owen. Perhaps I shouldn't have called at all, but I knew you'd be very concerned about this.
Yes, I'm concerned. Wish to God I'd known what was going on.
Well, there really wasn't anything you could have done about it. 2,000 miles away, is there?
Nola, just tell me, when did all this happen?
Why, just in the last 48 hours. Maybe that's why you haven't heard anything. Well, of course, they might not consider it a major story out there, but it does have human interest. Tell me, how are Brian and Paige?
Never mind about Brian and Paige. I want to know about Deborah. Now, where is she?
Well, she wasn't injured, you understand. Although I'm sure Deborah would consider injury preferable to what did happen.
You're really enjoying this, aren't you, Nola?
Why, Owen, what a thing to say.
I can hear the satisfaction in your voice. No wonder you called so early. You could hardly wait, right?
But you're wrong, darling. I feel awful for the poor girl. If I knew how to reach her, I'd go there right away and give her my condolences. I'm sure that's what you're thinking of doing right now. Maybe even of flying back home to Monticello?
Of course I can't do that. I'm right in the middle of a distribution deal. If I stop now, it's dead.
Oh, what a shame. You still have all those things to do in L.A. But you're doing the right thing, of course. Mansion of the Dam must get in all those theaters, or it's wasted effort, isn't it?
No, there's something I want you to know. Mansion of the Damned isn't the only thing I'm negotiating right now.
Well, really? You mean you have another project started? How wonderful.
Yeah, that's right. I have another project. It's called Divorce.
Divorce?
Mm-hmm. We were married out here. It's a logical place to get a divorce. It's all very simple, you know, thanks to the blessing of the no-fault divorce. You want to know something else, Nola? There's no way that you can stop it. No way at all.
Well, that's right, isn't it? There's nothing at all I can do. Goodbye, Owen. Would you please connect me with Miss Deborah Saxon's room? You what? Oh, well, I'm sure she'll want to talk to me. It's... tell her it's Miss Martha Corey.
Hello, Mrs. Corey?
Oh, Deborah, my poor child. Thank heavens the operator let me through.
Well, they're just screening my calls, You can't really trust all these weirdos who read your name in the paper.
Oh, yes, I understand. Well, I'm so pleased that you agreed to talk to me. I know I'm not family.
Well, you're a friend of mine, Mrs. Corey, and that's just as important.
Oh, it makes me feel so good to hear you talk like that, Deborah. And I feel even better hearing how well you sound. Oh, I was so worried about you.
Well, I think half of Monticello was worried about me, but I'll tell you one thing. Nobody was more worried about me than me.
Oh, you poor dear. It must have been absolutely terrible for you.
Well, it wasn't any fun, that's for sure. But I'm all right now, and I got out of it alive and unhurt.
Oh, I'm so glad. Look, how long do you think you'll be in the hospital?
Well, I don't know. If I have anything to say about it, I'll be getting out soon. I mean, I want to be home for Christmas.
Oh, Christmas, yes, of course. Oh, what a time to be. Well, I certainly hope you can come home soon, Deborah. And when you do, I want you to count on me, you hear?
Why, you're not going to be... Are you going to be home for the holidays?
Oh, yes, I'll be here.
Oh, well, I thought you were going to be visiting your friend or something.
Oh, no, I'd much rather be at home, especially if you're going to be here, too.
Well, Mrs. Corey, you don't have to put yourself out. I do have friends of my
Now,
own.
never you mind. I'm only doing what I want to do, Deborah.
I appreciate that. Oh, no, please don't start cooking for me. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to be home yet. Okay, Mrs. Corey, I'll call you as soon as I know. All right. Bye. It's a sweet lady, that's for sure. Yeah, she wanted to cook this huge meal for me. But I told her I didn't know if I was going to be home in time. But it's Christmas, Miles. I really want to go home.
I know, I understand.
And if you think that I'm going to be alone, I'm not. I mean, Steve promised he would stay with me as long as I wanted him. And Calvin, Star, I've got half a dozen people who want...
Including Mrs. Corey?
Well, yeah, but she's an argument all in herself. She says she'd take care of me. She'd make sure that I got my meals on time.
I've met her, you know.
You have?
Yeah, last night when I went to pick up your things. I had the feeling that I'd seen her somewhere before.
Well, maybe you have.
Do you happen to know where she lived before she moved into your building?
I think she said somewhere near Market Street. I'm not... Yeah.
Oh, Market Street. Well, that might explain it. I used to work at the Market Street Clinic for over a year.
Oh, well, maybe she was one of your patients.
Yeah, that's possible. Oh, look at this.
Oh, no, not another one. Believe it or not. Gosh, what in the world? Roses? Oh, those. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, and... Well, I sure know what I'm going to do with these.
what is this?
Check it.
French. It's pretty.
You like it?
I love it.
Oh,
Thank you.
honey, I hope you understand why we couldn't do too much this year. Things are a little tight.
I love it.
Hey, I think we have one more thing there under the tree for us. Yeah, the little one right back there, remember?
Forgotten all about this.
Oh, come on, that's a heck of a way to talk about it.
We don't even know who it's from.
Well, I'm sure there's something inside. Open it.
Draper, this reminds me about the dream. But there are parallels. You have to admit it. Some strange man comes up to the door in the middle of the night and hands me a gift.
Purely coincidental.
Oh, yeah? Well, if this is a silver bracelet, then I think I'll faint. All right, all right, all right. Could be a silver bracelet.
Open it.
I am.
Well, what's in it?
Keys.
Keys. From whom?
Merry Christmas, Margot.
Margot.
I don't know. Oh, my God, people here already?
I'll get it, baby.
That's a mess.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
Margot.
Christmas. That's my favorite son-in-law.
Merry Christmas. You're
Merry Christmas,
early.
darling. I know I'm early, but I came to see if I could help with some preparations.
Come sit down.
Oh, doesn't look like you need any help.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you can help me move this.
I think it's better. It's going to be in the way a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, darling, the place is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Margot, April just opened your gift.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. These are the nicest set of keys I've ever received. What are they for?
Well, the gift isn't only for you, darling. It's for Draper as well, if he can tear you
All
away from
right.
it.
All right. I'm sufficiently curious. What is it?
Okay, 20 questions. What are keys used for?
They're used for locks.
Locks on doors.
Correct.
I know what it is. Margot bought us a ski chalet. Margot, you shouldn't have.
Thank you.
No, not exactly. More hints, okay. This key is for a door, two doors in fact. This key is for a trunk. And this little bitty key here is for a locking gas cap.
Oh, my God, you bought me a car?
Well, it's nothing ostentatious, I assure you. It's one of those little tiny compacts that's supposed to get fantastic mileage.
Oh, Margot.
Wow, that's one heck of a gift.
No, darling, it's time you had a decent second car. I've had the dubious pleasure of riding around in that rattletrap that you travel in.
Well, yeah, when it runs. There have been so many repairs on that car that it's practically afforded the mechanic financial security.
There, you see, it's not only something that you will enjoy, it's something you need.
Oh, Margot, thank you.
Oh,
That was
you're
so
welcome, darling.
generous.
You know, Margot, you can't even look at a car these days for less than $5,000 or $6,000.
I know. That's why I told the dealer to scrape off the price tag before he delivered it. I think you're going to like the color. It's candy apple red.
I
just
can't
like
wait.
that.
Margot, don't you think it was overly generous?
Oh, Draper, you put much too much importance on the amount of money that I spend on you in April. Really, you shouldn't make that much of it.
But not every daughter gets a car for Christmas.
Not every daughter has a mother who can afford a car.
Draper, if I thought Margot was depriving herself of absolutely anything by giving us this present, I wouldn't even consider accepting it.
Look at it this way. Draper, I have all the creature comforts I could possibly want. You two are my only family. I don't get any great excitement out of looking at the balance in my bank book. Money is only a pleasure if it can buy your family pleasure.
Well, people are here. Excuse me. Party is starting. Hello, Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, thank you.
Oh, Draper.
Merry Christmas. Look, come on,
look
it's
wonderful.
cold.
Yeah, well, I am
Nicole,
certainly
Merry Christmas.
glad you made the trip today.
I'll tell you, Adam was not too pleased about leaving our place. By the time we left, it looked like the toy department at Bennett's after a
It
hurricane.
looks like he brought all the toys with him. You know something? Next Christmas, you are going to have a little
Take your
cousin
foot off.
of your own to play with, courtesy of my daughter.
Oh, yes, a beautiful little baby girl cousin. My prediction.
Hey, you know, I have
he's
a
hungry.
terrific idea before the party
What's that?
gets hectic. Why don't we have a very private, very quiet toast to our family?
Good
idea. Let me get some
It's-
makeup.
Bored. Yeah. Well, not all.
How you been?
Ah,
Here you
terrific.
are.
Good.
Miles, Margot?
Margo?
Oh, thank you.
I'll tell you what, Draper, why don't you let me do the honors, all right?
Here you
Be my guest, Miles.
Here is to Margot, to April, to Draper, to my beautiful wife, my fantastic son. We all have a lot to be grateful for this Christmas. Most of all, each other.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Here, here.
Oh, Mike, how can I ever thank you for this beautiful coat?
Seeing the way your face lit up when you opened the box this morning was thanks enough, Nancy. And the kiss and the hug weren't bad either.
Well, there are plenty more where they came from. Oh, this is the most marvelous Christmas present, Mike.
Glad you like it.
Like it? I love it. I've always wanted a suede coat.
Seems to me I did hear a subtle hint or two.
Oh, you did you? Well, well, well. I'm so glad it's so cold outside. I can wear it over to the Scots.
Well, you better take it off now since we're not ready to leave or you're gonna melt.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I forgot to wrap the pie I promised to bring over.
Well, I'll warm up the car and bring it out front. Nancy, where are your car keys? I guess I must have left mine in the other coat.
They're in my purse. It's out there in the living room, in the front section. Did you find them? They're usually on the bottom.
I thought we were giving April and Draper a crystal salad bowl.
We are.
Then this is a gift for somebody else.
Mike, you know that money was okayed by the paper to use for my story.
Frankly, I hoped you'd reconsidered about getting involved with this man.
Well, if I'm going to do an in-depth series on drug traffic in Monticello, I am eventually going to have to interview a pusher.
I still think you're taking an unnecessary risk.
Darling, you have to deal with criminals in your profession. For me to do my job, I am going to have to deal with the same kind of element.
But you're dealing with a man who obviously has very little regard for human life.
I haven't got any threat to him, Mike. I've promised him that I'm going to protect his name.
You don't see the risk carrying this amount of cash into the kind of neighborhood you're going to have to meet this man in?
You mean he may take the money and run?
You're putting yourself in a vulnerable position, Nancy.
We ought to go. It's getting late.
Okay. When's this meeting going to take place?
Well, certainly not today. Oh, come on, darling, cheer up. This is a holiday, and we're on our way to a lovely party, and please trust me. Everything's going to be fine.
Swifty, I'm glad you could make it. And Geraldine, you look terrific.
Can't think of a nicer way to spend the day than with friends like you.
It was very thoughtful of you to invite us.
Oh, our pleasure. Hey there, fella.
Wanna say
Remember
hello to
me,
April?
Auntie April? Well, let me take him. You can take off your coat.
Thank
Oh,
you.
hello. Would you like some eggnog?
Oh, nice.
You would like some eggnog, I can tell.
Well, I must say, he seems perfectly content to be there in your arms.
Yeah, well, how'd this little fellow like his first Christmas?
Oh, well, he was a bit bewildered by it all first, but then he got into the spirit of the thing.
After the third present, he couldn't wait to get the wrapping off and find out what was inside.
Sounds
you
just
know.
like Draper.
I must say, he did very well for himself.
Thanks to Grandma, who said she wasn't going to spoil him rotten, but,
Now, Logan, you must remember that this isn't just Jamie's first Christmas.
That's right. Jamie was a Christmas baby. Well, happy birthday there. Oh.
best present I ever had.
Yeah. Well, look, if you will excuse the two of us, I think Jamie here is quite hungry. I have some cookies in the kitchen.
Yeah, watch out
Homemade.
for flying crumbs.
Okie doke. Excuse me. Logan, Merry Christmas, Geraldine.
Hello.
Oh,
How
it's
are
been
you
so
today?
long.
Hi,
Too
Geraldine.
long, my dear.
How are you, Geraldine?
I'm fine.
I read you just got back from Washington, D.C., and you may be heading up the campaign of one of the presidential candidates here in this state. Is that true?
No, Miles. No, my trip to Washington was purely social. And as far as that rumor is concerned, it has no basis in fact.
You'd be an asset to any one of them.
I'd love to, Nicole, but I just don't have the time.
Yeah, when she's not busy traveling, she wants to be Jamie's primary babysitter, you see.
Can't think of a job I've enjoyed more.
I still think you should get out more.
The same thing could be said of you, my dear.
Touche.
Oh, look, I want you to see Adam. He's growing so much you're not going to believe it.
Oh, my dear.
Voila.
Well, sure. One cookie isn't enough for you, huh? That's all gone? Well, we'll just bring over the whole plate and you can make a little piggy out of yourself. How's that? Huh? Come on, here
Well,
we go.
and how are you two doing in here?
Oh, we are doing splendidly. I'll tell you, Geraldine, the more I look at him, the more he resembles Logan every day.
You should thank the lady for that compliment, Jamie. You have a very handsome father.
Speaking of Logan, how's he doing?
He's all right.
Yeah? Well, he doesn't really seem to be in the spirit of the holidays. And actually, when I've seen him lately, he seems kind of sad.
A good part of that is fatigue. He's been working very hard lately.
Yeah. Geraldine, tell me, does he still miss Raven?
April, I think I can say safely that Logan finally has gotten Raven out of his system. She sent Jamie a card, you know. There was no reference to Logan in it at all.
Well, I just hope Logan doesn't shut himself off from the whole world.
He's lonely.
Well, he's got Jamie. He's got you, too.
No. No, I serve more as a substitute mother for Logan. That isn't what he needs right now. What he needs is someone to love, who will love him.
Yeah. Hurts me to see Logan like this.
He's been hurt. I think he feels that if he ventures out again, the same thing might happen.
Well, I wish there was something I could do to help.
Perhaps there is.
Name it.
Oh, April, I have tried, without very much success, to persuade Logan that he should have a more active social life. Even his friend Cliff Nelson has tried to interest him in a blind date.
Well, he should go out.
I know that he has a great deal of faith in you. If you were able to make a suggestion, he might very well start dating again.
Oh, well, I do happen to know a few single women.
I see nothing at all wrong with a little friendly matchmaking, do you?
No, not at all. But I don't know if any of the people I know are Logan's type.
What do you mean by that?
Well, there isn't a one that is anything like Raven.
That is a blessing. No, my dear. I think what Logan needs is someone like you.
I'd like to propose a toast to the best brother-in-law a man could ever have.
Thank you, Draper. That's nice.
I was just gonna go get some hors d'oeuvres. You give me a hand?
Yeah, sure.
I tried to get the judge to set bail high enough to keep Harris in jail, but he wouldn't hear of it.
Well, I'd always heard Judge Quinlan was pretty hard-nosed when it came to setting bail.
Guess he was feeling generous, a Christmas spirit or some such nonsense.
Now, this punk will probably celebrate the holiday season by mugging a few sidewalk Santas.
Merry Christmas! Ho,
Merry
ho,
Christmas.
ho. Hey, can I get you some eggnog?
I'd love one.
I'm gonna go tend Jamie. I'll see you later.
Okay.
No, we, weren't sure that you were going to be able to make it.
Well, I almost wasn't. I'm not very good at parties.
Oh, hey, let me introduce you around, okay?
Oh, wait a minute. Let me drink this drink first, get more in the holiday spirit.
We're a good crowd. We promise to do our very best to make you feel at home. How's Deborah? Detective Saxon.
Okay, I suppose. You know, your husband released her from the hospital to spend the holiday season at home.
Right, well, Deborah said that she had some friends coming by to keep an eye on her.
Well, I hope that's the best thing for her health.
Miles wouldn't have let her go out of the hospital if she wasn't up to.
I don't know. Sometimes you women have a way of talking men into doing things against our better judgment.
That's assuming that your judgment is better.
Well, it was your impassioned plea about lifting Deborah's suspension that got me to change my mind, put her back on the line a week ahead of time.
So?
Well, so if she was still on suspension, she wouldn't have been in the park that night. Wouldn't have been victim to that kidnapper. You got any more good suggestions?
The only reason that Deborah accepted that assignment was because she wanted to prove to you that she's a good cop.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry. That didn't come out the way I meant. I get nervous around strangers.
Not a stranger.
No, but I didn't mean to offend you. That's the last thing I wanted to do.
Derek, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Here it
I
goes.
Can I get it?
It's coming.
I'm so happy. It is so happy.
That's good for the run.
I thought I was going
gonna have to spend Christmas all alone. Cheers, babe.
Oh, you and Steve are best friends. Where else would you expect us to be?
All
right, now just tell me, what did Santa put under your tree?
Well, for one thing, I got this very spiffy watch. How about that? Opens up there. You wanna check that out, buddy?
And if Santa catches him wearing it while he's on duty, Santa's gonna take it right back.
Hey, Star, what did what did Santa bring you?
Well, I got two gifts. I got this beautiful pin, which is gorgeous.
Star.
And this very sexy nightgown, which is definitely not for public display.
Oh, well, it sounds as if it's more a gift for Calvin than it is for you.
Well, true.
How about that?
I wonder what Santa stuffed in the stocking of our chief of police.
A lump of coal, no doubt.
Considering the price of fuel these days, that's not a bad gift.
No, I think he really deserves something good. I really mean that.
Oh, come on now. What happened to you during your night in the woods? The cold freeze your brains?
Yeah, he's not been one of your biggest fans, you know.
Well, I found out he was human. When I got to the hospital, he was already there waiting for me. You know, Miles told me that he stayed outside my hospital room until he was absolutely sure I was out of danger.
Sounds like he was really concerned.
Yeah, he was just afraid he'd lose one of the best detectives he has on the force now.
Well, that's
People
true,
with
but-
cops like you make Mallory look good.
Well, until I'm better, it's going to be up to you and Calvin to make him look good. I am officially on sick leave.
Yes, and this time we want your name to stay off that active duty roster until you are completely well.
I promise.
How you feeling?
Not too bad. I'm a little weak, that's all.
Did you ever find out what's wrong with you? I mean, when are you supposed to get your strength back?
Well, they don't know. They think it's some kind of a low-grade virus or something that I just have to let it run its course.
I think you should see Miles and have him run some more tests.
Well, I'm gonna be all right. Don't worry about me, Steve. I'm taking care of myself. Want to be all ready for your big wedding, huh?
Wedding, yes. As a matter of fact, Calvin and I have decided that we're gonna wait another week or two before we tie the knot.
I knew it. They got cold feet.
Oh, no, it's nothing like that. It's just that, well, you know, we both feel that we simply can't get married, and not unless Deborah's there, and so we thought we'd give her a couple of extra days to recuperate, huh?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Hey, come on, what's the big deal? So we will celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary 1 week later in 2030.
No, you can't do that, really. I'm gonna be fine. You can't just up and do something like this. I mean, you've already gotten your vacation leave with the department, and you've already made your honeymoon plans, right? Wherever you're gonna go. I don't want you to change anything because of me.
We're not changing anything because of you.
You guys, such good friends. Spending Christmas in such an un-Christmas-like atmosphere. I just, so many things have been happening lately. I just didn't have a chance to get anything ready, you know?
The Christmas spirit is here, and that's all that counts,
That's
right,
right.
fellas?
Here, here.
Mhm. Come on.
It's just, this is the first year that I haven't had a Christmas tree, you know?
Oh, I know what's the matter with you. You missed the trimmings,
Yes,
right? The
and all
star,
the
the sign,
And the
all that
presents
stuff.
underneath.
Hey, listen. Why don't you just make a wish for a tree?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Come
go
on.
ahead.
What do you got to lose?
Got a
Come
solid
on.
point, Deborah.
gotta have
Close your
faith.
eyes.
Oh.
Some wishes come true, you know.
This
Come
is
on.
silly, you know?
No, it isn't.
Come on,
You can
close
do
your
Close
it.
your eyes and don't open them until I tell you to, okay?
I want you to,
Come on.
come on,
Close
you
your
can do
eyes.
it. I want you to remember your first Christmas tree that you had when you were a kid. What did it look
My
like?
first Christmas tree? And we decorated them with colors, you know, like, oh, we hung them on the tree.
Here we go.
Open your eyes.
Open your eyes, honey.
Merry Christmas! Deck balls with boughs of holly. Fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Fa la 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 la. Don me now again.
So great. I thought this was going to be the
Just
worst
like you.
Christmas in my life. It's turned out to be the best.
Oh, you didn't think Santa and his little helpers would let you down, did you?
I think this surprise and presents really did the trick.
Yeah.
You sure perked up in a
I
hurry.
know. I feel like a little kid again. Oh, I know you guys have to leave. You got to go back to work. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Merry
guys.
Christmas.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a good day.
Merry
Christmas.
Bye.
Take care.
Drive
Be good.
carefully.
Well, that was my turn. have a gift here from Detective Guthrie to Miss Saxon. Merry Christmas.
I wonder what that is.
Oh, I think this is what they call an intimate moment.
Steve. Hurry up, open it.
Anticipation mounts.
You have to wrap it almost.
You like my tie? Isn't this just wonderful?
Right size.
Mm-hmm.
You scared
Surprise.
me. Thank you.
Hey, I wonder where this one came from.
Smells real good.
Look at this.
Oh, it looks like it's from my next door neighbor, Mrs. Corey.
Yeah?
Oh, she must have left it with the rest of the goodies when they were waiting out in the hall.
Oh, look at her. She's such a good cook. I wonder what it is. And Deborah, enjoy this in the best of health, Mrs. Corey. She is the sweetest lady.
Look at it.
Oh,
We can eat it later.
Lots of rum.
Seems as though a harmony is hard to find, always on our mind. And frustrated days pass without sight, the edge of night. Half dark, half light.
Merry Christmas. Call me. Love, Owen. Hi, Mrs. Corey.
Hello, Deborah. How are you?
I'm all right. When you said 10 minutes, it really was 10 minutes. Come on in. The tea's almost ready.
Oh, I intended to stop by yesterday to wish you a Merry Christmas, but my friend called. She's not feeling well again, I'm afraid, so I had to rush off to care for her.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but my friends came over and took very good care of me.
Oh, I've been so worried about you ever since I heard about you being abducted by that maniac. I kept my radio on all night, just praying to hear good news.
Well, it was frightening, but everything turned out all right.
Do the police have any idea who did this to you?
No, but we're working on it.
Oh, I just don't know how you can put yourself in such potentially dangerous situations.
It's my job. That's what I get paid to do.
Well, if you ask me, your night in the woods took more out of you than you think. You look mighty pale, my dear.
Well, I'm planning on resting for a couple of days.
Well, just as soon as we've had our tea, I'm going to leave and let you get some rest.
Oh, by the way, it's probably ready by now.
Oh, by the way, I hope you got the little present I sent over. I know it's not much, but...
Oh, it's very thoughtful of you, Mrs. Corey, making a whole big fruitcake like this. Shouldn't have.
Well, I hope you like fruitcake. It's so traditional this time of the year. Well, you haven't had any yet.
Well, to tell you the truth, my friends brought over so much food yesterday. We didn't really want to have 2 desserts. But I just thought we might as well have it together.
Well, that cake will go nicely with the tea. It's from a very special recipe.
Oh, well, I can't wait to taste it.
Oh, what are we waiting for?
It's thick. Okay, here, hand me your plate.
Oh, all right.
Golly, it's so full of nuts and fruit. Okay, I'm gonna use my fingers. What the heck? Oh, it's so good.
Oh, I'm so glad you like it.
Corey, you haven't even touched your slice.
Oh, well, I'm afraid this is going to have to be your second helping, my dear.
Oh, come on now. You've got to have a bite of your own fruitcake.
Oh, wouldn't I love it? But no, I'm afraid I'm just going to have to watch you enjoy yours.
Don't tell me you're on a diet.
Something like that. Oh, I'm not worried about my girlish figure. I lost that a long time ago. No, but I do have to watch my health. Well, I'm not allowed to eat anything sweet.
That's funny. I remember the last time you were here, you had a lot of pastry with me.
Oh, yes, I know. But I'm a naughty old woman sometimes. But my doctor made me promise to be good from now on.
Well, I know what you mean. I have the same problem. I haven't been getting much exercise lately. I've got to watch what I eat so I don't get fat.
Look, while you were in the hospital, did the doctors get any clue as to why you've been feeling so ill?
Not a clue. They told me that I have to rest and hope that whatever it is gets out of my system.
Well, you're just going to have to let me be more of a help to you, Deborah.
Oh, Mrs. Corey, that's sweet of you, but you don't have to, really.
Oh, well, we'd be doing each other a favor. I'm an old woman, Deborah. The only thing I have plenty of is time on my hands. I can't think of a better way of occupying myself than by helping others. And I want so much to care for you.
I'm lucky to have a neighbor like you, Mrs. Corey. Excuse me. Hello?
Deborah, I finally managed to track you down.
Owen?
Oh, God, I can't tell you how wonderful it is to hear your voice again.
Where are you?
I'm still in Los Angeles. How are you feeling?
I'm okay, I guess.
Yeah. I called the police headquarters, and they said you were in the hospital. Monticello General just wouldn't give out any information. I've been worried sick about you. You must have gone through hell the other night.
Well, I wasn't aware that my ordeal was something that hit the news in California.
Nola told me what happened.
Nola? How did she know?
I got a call from her the other night. Nola decided to cut short her Caribbean vacation, and when she arrived in Monticello, your disappearance was all over the news.
So Nola's back. When did you get back? Do you know?
I don't know. Oh, it must have been awful for you, Deborah. As soon as I heard about it, I wanted to drop everything here and just fly out to Monticello.
Well, I wish you had, but I know that you've got a lot of work out there in California.
Well, I am right in the middle of a distribution deal. Tell me, did they catch the guy who abducted you?
No, not yet.
You know, I'm not a violent man. But I'm telling you, if they left me in the same room with that guy, I don't know what I'd do. Well, listen, tell me, Deborah, how did it all happen anyway?
Well, it was partly my fault, I guess. I wasn't feeling very well, but I went ahead and took an assignment as a decoy.
My God, that's terribly dangerous work. I didn't know you did things like that.
Well, I told you this wasn't the safest job in the world.
I know, but to put yourself into so much danger.
Well, you know, that's what they paid me for. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't have done it, but the guy was unusually clever, and I was unusually inept, I guess.
Well, you could have been killed. It was bad enough as it was, from what Nola said.
Well, I spent the night in the woods, Owen, that's all. I mean, it was no picnic, but that was a joke.
I'm sorry. I'm just not finding any of this very amusing. I'm very worried about you, Deborah.
Oh, Owen, look, I'm fine. I really am. I'm home now. I'm safe and sound. I had a nice Christmas.
Without me.
I had your roses. I got them. They're beautiful, Owen. Yeah.
Wish I could have delivered them in person.
I wish you... Tell me about your Christmas. What did you do? Did you see Brian and Paige?
Yeah, I saw them. They're both fine. Only thing is that their happiness reminded me. I miss you. I miss you so much. Well, listen, I guess you must be pretty tired, huh?
Well, I am a little weak, I guess.
Okay. Well, listen, I'll call you tomorrow, all right? I love you.
I miss you, Owen, so much. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Another well-wisher?
Yes.
Well, come on now. It's time for your second slice.
Whoops. Oh, almost empty.
1 month, Miles. 1 month before I'll be tooling around Monticello in my brand new candy apple red car.
It certainly overshadows all your other gifts, isn't it? You're lucky to have a mother who can afford to be that generous.
Yeah, I am.
Guess now with Elliot gone, she's a little bit lonely. So it's understandable if she wants to focus a lot more attention on you.
You know, I really think Draper's starting to understand that.
Well, good. Good. Glad to hear things are starting to be ironed out between the two of them.
Oh, yeah, I can't tell you. It certainly makes me relax a bit knowing that the two of them are finally getting along.
Well, now all you have to do is put your mind at ease about one other matter, and things will be just about perfect.
Oh, now what's that supposed to mean?
Oh, Draper told me you were having trouble sleeping again. You know, it is not healthy for a pregnant lady to go around constantly in a state of fatigue.
Miles, I would love to get a good night's rest, and that means, though, that I can't dream.
The more you think about that dream, April, the more often it's going to recur.
Miles, I can't help it, but it reminds me of the time last year when I was dreaming and they were all coming true.
Just don't start thinking of yourself again as a fortune teller or a witch. Now,
Well-
those people only show up in movies.
All right, all right. By the way, speaking of movies, speaking of witches, for that matter, have you heard anything more about Mansion of the Damned?
Me? No, I haven't.
Well, I guess it'll take a while before that movie comes out. I'll tell you, I'm real curious to see it, aren't you?
Not especially.
Oh, come on, you are too. A movie made right here in Monticello, and a movie with people that we know in it.
That's true. Does have people I know in it.
You know, I'll bet. Even though I know people in the movie, it'll still scare the daylights out of me. Not that I believe in witchcraft or witches or anything like that. But I know a lot of people still do, don't they?
Well, there was a time when a lot more people believed in them, back in the days of old Salem.
Oh, come on. They weren't real witches then. They were just ordinary people accused of being witches. Right? Hello?
I'm sorry, what?
Where were you? What were you thinking about?
About witches. About Salem. I just had a thought.
You sure you don't want something to eat?
Positive.
All right, you're smart. In this place, they give you indigestion pills instead of after-dinner mints.
Yeah. Look, if you don't mind, I'd like to get down to business.
Yeah, well, then I'd like to get paid.
$500, nothing larger than 20s, as agreed.
Thank you.
Aren't you going to count it?
You got an honest face.
If what you tell me is worthwhile, there's more where that came from.
Yeah? Well, what do I have to do to get invited back?
Just be open, honest with me.
I already told you. I'll let you in on all I know, just as long as nothing I say winds up in an indictment against me.
And I already told you that all names and places will be changed.
You gotta protect the innocent, right? Hey, listen. I've heard about when cops put the squeeze on newspaper reporters to get certain information they want. You know, sometimes they even throw them in jail for contempt of court. How do I know that if they ask you to help them out, you won't sing like a bird?
Unless you want to go into a lengthy discussion about my feelings about the First Amendment, you will just have to trust me. I will protect you.
Let's get started. What do you want to know?
Okay, let me set this up.
Hey, no tape recorders, lady. Put that thing away or I don't say a word.
Oh, well, look,
all I need is for a lost tape to end up on Chief Mallory's desk. Huh? I'm sorry, you're gonna have to trust your memory.
All right, if I take any notes?
Yeah. You wanna know about when I was a kid? I was a cute son of a gun.
You were you? Well, I tell you what, why don't we save that? Tell me now, why did you get involved in the business?
Well, money was the main thing. You sure we're here alone?
Yes.
Yeah? You know, I'm taking a lot of risks being here, so I gotta be careful.
Yes.
You sure you didn't tell anybody that you were gonna be here?
Benny, why do you ask that?
Because there's a guy sitting at the end of the bar who wasn't here when I came in.
This is a public place.
Yeah, well, I happen to know all the people in this joint, and he ain't one of them. And besides, he looks a lot different than the kind of people that come here anyway.
So what?
So what? So I think maybe he's a cop, and maybe
I
he's a
did
setup.
not notify the police, Benny.
Yeah, well, you turn around and take a look at this guy, and you tell me he doesn't have law and order written all over his face. Go ahead. Go ahead, look at him. Go ahead, look at him. You do know him. Oh, I thought I could trust you, lady. Well, the deal is off.
Who is it?
It's the house detective. You got a man in there? If not, let me in.
Cliff, I'm not in the mood.
Hey, open this door, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow it down.
You've got enough hot air, you probably could.
Now there's a rejection that I've learned to allow. Ho, 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 Merry Christmas.
Oh, what'd you do? You buy this with your own money? Did you find it on my doorstep?
See, you already got another one, huh? I paid for that with my hard-earned cash. If you don't believe me, I got the receipt. Oh, that is what I'd really like to give you. That's a picture of a mink coat. Now, you see, save that. And when I open up my law offices in New York, Rome, and Paris, give it to me, and I'll give you the real thing.
Gee, thanks.
Well, don't you think I deserve a Christmas kiss for that? Hmm? Oh, come on, you can do better than that. Too much for you, huh? Well, I was gonna get you a dozen roses. So you already got those, too, huh? Owen Poopsie? If you don't mind, I'll remove these. I think I'm allergic to them. Whenever I see how much these things cost, it makes me sneeze. Guess they wilted when they saw how beautiful you were, hmm?
Feel beautiful today.
Well, I came over to nurse you back to health.
Cliff, I don't know what's the matter with me. This morning I was feeling fine. Today, all of a sudden, about an hour ago, I started getting weak again.
Hey, you want me to run down to the supermarket and buy some of that homemade chicken soup?
No, I don't think that would do the trick.
Well, look, it couldn't hurt.
No, I've got food. I've got food in my kitchen.
Well, terrific, because I am starved.
Well, there's some fruitcake in there on the sink. You can have that if you want.
This looks fabulous. Where'd you get it?
My next-door neighbor, Mrs. Corey, she made it for me.
Hey.
She's a good cook. I've been eating
Next
it all
time she
day.
makes some, tell her to make a double batch so she can make some for me. I love this. You know, nothing means Christmas more to me than fruitcake.
Yeah.
And all the nuts and the cherries in there. And, hey, second thought, maybe you better tell her to forget it.
What's the matter?
The cake is inedible.
Why?
Well, it's got raisins in it. See? See, I hate raisins. You don't know whether you're eating the raisins or the dead flies.
Oh, God, Cliff, please, I don't want you around.
Hey, wait a minute. Are you all right? Boy, you look pale.
I feel cold. I don't understand.
You may feel cold, but boy, you're burning up.
I'm so sick of being sick.
Hey, take it easy, take it
What's
easy.
the matter with me?
Are you all right? What's your doctor's number?
Kavanaugh.
What's his number?
It's in my book.
Where's your book?
over there.
All right, now take it easy, all right? Try and take deep breaths, okay? Maybe you should, are you sure that... You want a glass of water or something like that? Kavanaugh, with the C, right? Kavanaugh. Okay. Listen, sure I can't get you something to keep you warmer? Hang low. Look, I need Dr. Kavanaugh, all right? Quick. Well, look, you find him, all right? You tell him Deborah Saxon's sick again and he's got to get over here real quick, all right? Hurry!
Is anybody there?
If it isn't one of my favorite customers. How you doing, Mrs. Corey?
Hello, Benny. Is my order ready?
You bet. You bet. I made it up for you myself.
I assume you were able to get all the flowers I requested?
Hey, Benny always comes through, you know that. He made a real nice selection, you know?
I especially like those red ones.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They go real well with the yellows and the greens.
Well, your flowers certainly help to brighten my day.
Well, this bunch is gonna make you feel fantastic. I can promise you that. And, just to keep them healthy, here's a little plant food for you, okay?
Well, as soon as I find myself in the need of another bouquet, I'll be in touch.
Well, good. You got my number. Enjoy 'em.
Thank you, Benny. Bye.
Goodbye, Grandma.
Here it is, Dr. Kavanaugh, the Witches of Salem. Thinking of using witchcraft in your practice?
No, I'm an MD, not a witch doctor.
Did you want to borrow the book?
No, as a matter of fact, I'll just browse through it here. Something I want to look up.
Okay, then.
It was perhaps because she burst into incredulous laughter at the hysterical fits thrown by the young woman who brought the charges of witchcraft against so many citizens of Salem that the old woman found herself among the accused. Ann Putnam made the accusation, and the old woman declared in court that she was a gospel woman. But the girls cried out, "Gospel witch, gospel witch," and even though she continued to deny the charges, Martha Corey was hanged. Martha Corey. It is her. It's Nola Madison.